Get a headset on. Hey guys, Frank here, your virtual general aviation aviator. And today I am back in the Thranda PC-6 Porter. And let's see if we can get you a outside view of it. There we go. And as luck would have it, I would not have the livery that I want. So let's go ahead and try to get the livery that I intend to fly with. Let's see, actually, I want a painted livery. And I think I must have hit apply because I got an hourglass. Well, anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome. And let's see if I can get my painted livery now. There we go. And that's the one that I want to apply. Okay. I see that little red tag hanging off. So while I'm waiting on my livery to apply, then I do know that I am going to have to go in and remove my ties. Um, Something I often neglect to do. I find myself jumping directly in the aircraft and starting a pre-flight without taking off certain elements that that would certainly help me fly. All right, so I'm still waiting on my hourglass to clear up. I know that you can't see it, and since this is a live stream, then I really have no choice but wait. Um, it's cool the way Thranda has modeled this guy. If I could, shucks, I can't move that, but you could see the Pratt and Whitney engine um, and the airframe, but because of this message that says applying livery, you couldn't see the engine. It had it covered up. Okay, so I finally got control of the sim, and let's go ahead and remove all these covers and my tie downs, and we're good to go. Okay, let's let's check our weight and balance and load our weight and balance. I think it's gonna load. Thought I had some weight and balance information preloaded, but I guess I didn't. So I do hear aircraft in the background. Um, Maybe something flying over. So I am in the back country of the Canadian. Well, I'm in the Canadian back country. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So my passenger is my co-pilot sitting next to me with weigh about 135. Then I got a guy in the back seat there, and he's a fairly heavy guy, or a tall guy, and which puts him around 220. And then his friend, and she weighs. She didn't want to tell me this, so don't tell anybody. But she weighs right at 200, 150. Um, Not a bad weight for her. She carries it well. Um, Even though she said 150, I'm gonna give her 155. And we've got some luggage that we are gonna store in the back of the aircraft. And weighing that luggage looked like it weighed about 100. uh, about 60 pounds. Um, and so we just put 60 here and um, and about 20 on the other side. Okay, and we didn't put the luggage in the. Hey, how you doing, Excedric 4? Yeah, Thranda. I love this aircraft. Trying to get my weight and balance, get some weight on the aircraft. Sometimes during hard winds, I have a tough time. I have a tough time landing it, but we'll see what we can do. I am doing fantastic tonight. Glad you stopped by, my friend. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the next camera and slew panel. We've got that done. Now, I do have a custom panel, and I do have the adventure pack for the Thranda Porter, which gives me the option of putting skis on it, which I don't need. But I do want to go with the larger tires, so the Tundra tires, and we'll keep the small windows. I could go with skydiver windows, but and I just toggle them just so that you can see them. I do want to put mud flaps on this guy, even though it's dry. But that's how the Thronder looks with the big windows. All right. So my N number is 633 Papa Whiskey, and we can close this guy up and jump in our cockpit and see if we can't get a good start. Okay, um, cockpit. All right. So this is Quantum River, and I do want to back out a little bit, just kind of look at the scenery for this guy, and it probably wouldn't hurt to get a better idea anyway of where I'm at and which way I'm going to take off. So I do see my windsock down here, and the windsock is right here. So the winds are coming from this direction. So I'm at the right end of the runway to take off. The plan is to fly to Campbell, which isn't that far, but I do have weather coming in. In fact, let me go ahead and start my real weather injector, which may really affect my visibility. If it affects it too much, then I go back to custom weather. All right. So, and let me show. Let's get our kind of get our flight path that we intend to use. So we are up here at Quantum River, where this blue dot is, and there is my real weather just popped in. Thank you. Oh, nice. Thank you. And the plan is to fly towards the. See, looks like we're gonna have to fly fairly low if we want to do VFR, and we are VFR. So I am gonna cheat. I am gonna go back and kind of modify the weather so I'm not flying in such gloomy weather. So let's go here and we'll get rid of this broken cumulus clouds. And let's see, okay, how do you delete cloud level? And we'll get rid of that cloud level. And we'll just keep our winds and apply it. Okay, and that should hopefully clear up in a second. And so Camel River is way down here, and that's gonna be roughly about 24 nautical miles, so this flight shouldn't take us terribly long. I'm gonna go back to the weather and see why it didn't clear up any. Visibility, set visibility, and I need to change that to visibility and bring that up to about 40 statute miles, and that might do what we want. Wow, it's too clear, but that's okay. We won't do we won't do weather because it's just too gloomy for VFR flying in these mountains. All right, and you can see the guy's working. He's there somewhere. Maybe we'll run into him before it's all over with. All right, so it's time to get started. Check my throttles, my brakes. Check my brakes. My brakes are set. And we should be right at sea level. So I'm not going to be able to get a ASOS, AWOS, or ATOS report here. So, but I know we're right at about sea level, maybe um, a few feet above. So that should about do it. All right. Master comes on. Instruments are working. Don't see anything that look too crazy. And what I want to do is when I start the master, and this is a custom panel, one that I designed myself. That's Oh yeah, thank you. Sorry about that. Thank you. This is a custom panel, one that I designed myself. That's one thing about the Thranda offerings now. They got the DGS series, the Dynamic Generation series, and you can basically move stuff around, swap out instruments, all kinds of cool stuff. All right, so go ahead and turn my boost pump on, and you saw that guy move. All right, and I'm gonna start my starter. My NGs should come up to about, which is this gauge here, should come up till about, well, I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if my mouse is moving or not. I think so. Okay. Um, so it should come up to about 20, and then I'll start the starter and introduce fuel. Okay. And go ahead and start the starter. That's the heat. Introduce fuel. Watch my ITT. It should peak and come right back down. Okay. And my NGs are coming up. So is my prop. I'm feathered. So I want to take the feather off. And I just love the way this aircraft sound when it comes up. Yeah, it is super cool to be able to move these things around. Okay, so it looks like I've got a good start. So I'll go ahead on and turn on my alternator and turn off my starter, my ignition, and my boost pump, and turn my avionics on. Okay, Garmin is coming alive. And turn transponder on altitude reporting. And I don't know if Canada uses, hold on for a second. I don't know if Canada uses, get something from down here. The wires out the way. I don't know if Canada uses the the 1200 for their VFR or not. Cool. I just don't have the patience for plane maker or wed. I have them. I would jump in it and start, but I just don't have the patience to get past the initial learning curve. So I really haven't done anything in either program. I do want to learn them because there are some things that I want to do in wed and plane maker and wed. Okay, so let's get this started. So you literally looked up the VFR squawk. Okay, if you find it. Okay, it is. It is 1200. I know Europe uses 7000. That's, and I wasn't sure if Canada uh, used 1200 or not. I suspect that they just go by continent, but I don't really know. Okay, so we're gonna squawk 1200 and go ahead and set our trims. This guy here looks okay, but this trim here needs to be set. And our trims look fine. I should have turned on my beacon lights before I started the aircraft, but I neglected to do so, but I got them on now. And we'll turn on our landing lights. And we don't need valves. Okay, so let's check our brakes. Let's get rid of this brake here. And we're still in low idle. Wow. You know, I love FS economy. I bought a PC-12 in the Congo. Uh, I leased it to own, and it was in the Congo in Africa, and I wanted to get it to the United States. I bought it in the Congo because I got it right around $700,000, and most places stateside had it. The cheapest I could find it was like 750 or 850, 850,000. So I decided to buy it there and just fly it. And I started out trying to learn the rules for Africa and Europe, but I wound up just flying it from airport to airport, picking up passengers and earning money without really observing the airspace rules for that part. The PC-12, a cheap Porter. I wish. No, no, the PC-12. Yeah, you're right. For a PC-12, in real life, they would sell for used for about $3 million. But to get one on FS economy, it's only uh, around a million. If you're lucky, you can get one for around 800. I don't know what the Porters sell for. Let's see, let's do a flight plan. Okay, so I don't know if I'm at Sierra 6, but I do know I thought I had recorded the location that I'm gonna fly to, and for Camel River I had, but I lost it. But no matter, I am going to figure it out. Okay, so I guess I only want to fly maybe 2,000 feet AGL. So that means I will be dodging mountains. Um, let's see. So let's go ahead and go to high idle here. I love the way this aircraft sounds spinning up. And if that's too loud, then let me know. Make sure my brakes are off. Brakes are off. Okay. So I just need to give it some throttle to get it moving. Go back to low idle here. And this guy does turn with braking differential, um, even though I'm able to turn it with this free Castorin rudders, but really I should be using my brakes to turn it. Okay. And see how easily the ground loop on me. It is a tail dragger. So ground looping is an issue. Oh, I got the big windows in. Didn't realize that I left them in. All right, so get lined up here. The one thing about the Porter is you can literally take off in about 600 feet. With the weight that I have on right now, I suspect that I need at least 800 feet, but I know I won't need a whole 1,000 feet. See the guys working, moving trees. That is so cool. And this scenery package is from Prop Strike Studios, and I think he did a great job. You probably have seen it before. I know a lot of other people have used this scenery package. All right, flaps to 28%, and make sure that everything looks good. Half a tank on fuel looks good. High idle again. We'll go for, let's set it for takeoff. Come off those brakes. Hold it. And we're up. Easy peasy. All right, positive rate. Don't have to worry about gear. Flaps up. And we'll make a turn here. Now, I shouldn't need a lot of turning radius but I am going to take it anyway. In fact, I want to gain a little altitude before I turn. Okay, I got 1,000 feet, so now I can make that turn. I wanted 1,000 feet, so if I lost my engine, I could hopefully make it back to the airport. Hey, Melvin Leroy, how are you? All right. I decided to do a stream. I hadn't done one in ages, and take a quick flight from Quantum River to Campbell River Airport. Okay, now which way is going to get me out of here? I'm going to turn to the left here. And we're just about at cruising altitude. Okay, there's our 2,000 feet. Thank you. I miss you guys too. In fact, well, actually, I have been checking in on you guys, so I actually do visit, see you guys a lot. A lot of times I watch you guys from my television, and it's so hard using that remote to communicate that I just watch. All right. So let's get this guy trimmed out here. Check out gauges, and we're looking good. Looking good. Yeah, I also like those little clips that you put on YouTube. I think I left you a little comment the other day on one. Eccentric, you're right. These porters would jump in the air without without much, and you're right. They just love to fly. Okay, so try to get this guy trimmed, and next time maybe I'll do real weather and take it there in the mist, in the bad weather, and see if I can't pick my way through all this stuff. Either, well, I can't really get a flight plan, but just kind of pick my way through it as long as I'm clear of the clouds. Clouds, I should be okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. One thing that it seemed to be tough to find a lot of is people who are still streaming um, GA with X-Plane. I see a lot of Microsoft Flight Simulator streaming, um, but it's but I for some reason I really get a kick out of watching people fly with X-Plane. Okay, so I would suspect that my destination is down here somewhere. It's so funny flying these porters or these turbo engines with these long noses, and you're sitting in them, and they have this nose down attitude, and instinctively you feel like you need to pull back on the prop to fly straight and level. I know, right? I am strictly GA. You're right. All engine. See, that's such a nose down attitude. I do have the expansion pack for this Porter and have dropped off a few of the skydivers in a flight. Um, I got to practice a little bit on controlling these skydivers and getting them to link up like I've seen Nojo do in one of the developers. But yeah, I I tell you, Melvin, get really impressed with your ability to land these things without ground looping them. I have a tendency of ground looping um, if I don't just apply crazy concentration to what I'm doing. I think one of the mistakes that I had been making in this particular tail dragger, because it's not as forgiving as some of the others when it comes to ground looping, is cutting the power and not getting that prop wash over the rudder to help me control it. But I've been doing some touch and goes, and I think I've pretty much got it down packed. So, do you have the the adventure pack, the expansion pack for the Porter? Yeah, I'm learning that those short roads do help. Okay, so my airport ought to be over here somewhere. Let's see, 1900 on my prop. That's not bad. Cool. Yeah, I think I saw you and Downwind Sim and maybe another guy stream a fly session uh, in some backcountry. What I can recall is that you was looking for a spiral to help you locate the airport you were looking for. Okay, so let's see what we got down here. I think we might have an airport down here a little bit, and at least that's Camel River. I don't see the airport. Got to find the airport. Camel River. Oh man, I'm still gaining altitude. Pull back on that power a little bit. Titanian Druid, howdy. Glad you showed up. Yep, Canyonlands. That's exactly where it was at. Okay, so let me go ahead and start bleeding off some speed, some altitude. Oh, you know, I think I'm looking at my iPad. I don't think I'm at my location. I think I've got the wrong location. That's Branton Allen's. So, my bad. Pick up a little speed here. And so I instinctively asked myself, if I were to lose the engine, where would I ditch? With this fixed gear, ditching in the water would certainly result in a nose over, which might be the only choice that I have. I think it'd be better than running into immovable objects like trees, even though water's fairly immovable. Okay, so I'm gonna fly over this bay here. I do too, man. The engine sounds on Thranda products are just out of this world. And I was telling Excedric that this panel is a custom panel. It's one that I actually started from scratch and put all these instruments in myself. Um, so that's with their DGS, their dynamic generation series. You know, it's really cool that you can do that. And my ForeFlight app is not really showing me exactly where the airport is at. So I think I, uh, I think I am going to have to find it manually because I do not see it. Fly the plane. You can see that weather moving in. So I'm not using, I'm using custom weather. Uh, Camera, there it is. Okay. So if I come down the coast somewhat, then I should find it. I have too. I have too. And I don't enjoy um, the livery, making the liveries that much. So I usually, this is a custom livery. and I didn't do very much to make it outstanding, but it works for me. So what I am trying to do now is, well, I can no longer rely on my iPad. And my airport ought to be over to the right. Um, yeah, see, I'm cheating. But a pilot must use all available knowledge, all available tools, and the the GPS is a tool that's available. So let's see, waypoint frequency, data. Flip that in.
Campbell River Information Sierra. 1600 Zulu weather. Wind light and variable. Visibility more than 10. Sky clear. Temperature 4. Dew point -30. Altimeter 2994. Arriving runway 30. Departing runway 30. Advise on initial contact you have Sierra.
2994. And I don't understand, well, let's do multicom. I don't understand. I guess it's untowered. I was going to say, I don't understand how the Canadians manage their radio frequencies. So 30. So I am gonna cheat and do a straight in. See if I can get the get back over here. Get the elevation. Elevation is 350 feet, so I'm gonna do 1400 for my pattern. Just get out of the way. I should have it up here to my north. 30 is what I want to turn toward. So it should be way back here somewhere. I think that's it. Right here. Oh, kind of overshot the runway just a little bit. Okay, so it's right here. Camel River, Pilatus Porter, 633 Papa Whiskey is inbound for a straight in, runway 30. We're about 6 miles. Camel River. Thank you for the yeah, the touchscreen panel for this GTN 750 is the best thing since sliced bread. It really is. The actually flaps 28%. I actually like the GTN 750 more than I like the G1000. Um, in fact, I like steam gauges in the sim more than I like the glass because I have a difficult time seeing the glass sometimes. And but I'm told that in the real world you can't beat glass. All right, so Camel River Porter 633 Papa Whiskey on final runway 30 Campbell River. Draft there. So the exact speed that I should be coming down, of course, is a function of the weight that I'm carrying, but somewhere around 68, 65 should be about what I want to aim for. Camel River traffic 633 Papa Whiskey short final runway 30 full stop Camel River. There's a truck up under me. Get lined up here. And you guys get to see me ground loop this guy. I know it's gonna happen. No, I'm gonna I'm gonna butter it and bring it to a stop without ground looping it. Flaps 4. $60. It never fails in the grass. Let's see, do I see a tower? I don't see a tower. So what is the Canadian equivalent of the FAA? I guess they'll be giving me a call. I'll be calling them if somebody were to let them. Well, I guess I would need to file an incident report because I did wind up in the grass. The CAA. I'm sure that they probably just have me do some remedial training, of course, at my cost. All right, stop and clean up here. Flaps up. I'm gonna leave altitude reporting. Turn on. Strobe lights off. Landing lights off. Actually, I'm leaving on for this particular aircraft. Um, I know, Melvin, when I was watching TV and I saw you at Canyonlands and you were getting an alarm and you didn't know what it was. This aircraft has a trim alarm because the trim tab is so large that it can really affect. It can really cause some major issues. So if I trim that nose up too far, I should get that alarm. Well, I'm not getting it, but there it is. So if you do fly, yeah, okay, gotcha. So yeah, I want to shout that out through the TV, um, and of course, you like if you like me, I tend to pick up things as I fly. So I guess I will plan another flight. It's funny. After that flight, I get this message from iPad, and I expected to get that message when I first spun in Canada, and I didn't get it. So I thought maybe something had changed. Um, but I see it hasn't. Okay, actually, so where can we fly to? Um, let's go to Sky Vector maybe. And see, that was find the I got the wrong screen up. All right, let's see. Sky Vector. There we go. And that was I believe. Camber River was what? Hey, Rob Valkyrie. How you doing? Thank you for stopping by. So in my cleanup, let me get rid of this map here for a second. So in my cleanup, I failed to. That's why it's so important to do checklists because I failed to to pour my condition level back to low idle. So I'm sitting here at high idle, um, which I understand that sometimes when it's extremely hot in certain turboprops, you might want to idle at high idle just to keep the engine cooler. Um, let's see, CB, Camel River, where are you? I don't recall where I got the ICOA code, the CYBL. Okay, so CYBL. Actually, I could use this guy to make it simpler. Okay, so I guess I'll take another 20 nautical mile flight to, what is that, Comox? Yeah, that works. Or, yeah, let's just go to Comox. Why not? Okay, elevation is 84 feet. ATIS is the same. ATIS is not the same. It does have a tower. Has a pair of runways. And is it south or north of me? It's going to be south, right along the shoreline. Okay. Wouldn't it be nice if you could plan a flight like this in real life? Oh man, I don't. I'm sorry, guys. Apparently something is turned off, and there we go. Sorry about that. Wouldn't it be nice if you could plan a flight like this in real life rather than spending all that time in that pilot lounge planning out flights? Um, didn't have to look at weather reports and study waypoints, destination approaches, and all of that good stuff. Would be nice. That's why I don't think that the flying car is really in the immediate future for anybody except pilots. Okay, let's set our flaps to takeoff. Let's get our ATIS again. Must have changed it. Thought I had that frequency already dialed in.
Campbell River Information Sierra. 1600 Zulu weather. Wind light and variable.
Light and variable.
Visibility more than 10. Sky clear. Temperature 4. Dew point -30. Altimeter 2994. Arriving
994.
runway 30, departing runway 30. Advise on initial contact you have Sierra.
Sierra. Camel River traffic. Pilatus 633 Papa Whiskey taxiing into runway
Camel River
30.
information Sierra.
Camel River. I don't think they heard a word I said because I failed to tune my radio. Camel River traffic. Pilatus 633 Papa Whiskey taxiing into runway 30 Camel River. All right. Well, the good news is I tend to be able to taxi without getting an incursion into the ground, into the how you say the grass. So it's a nice scenery at this airport. It's not bad for default. Of course, I don't know what it looks like in real life. I guess one of the items that I failed to do that might have kept me out of the grass uh, was locking my tail wheel. Now, it's a shame to get all the way here only to realize that I taxied to the wrong side of the runway. Nice airport. I like it. This aircraft does have a beta range. For me, I find it tough to taxi from the drone position. Looks like I'm gonna have a nice little crosswind component. Traffic on the runway, on the taxiway. FedEx. Taxi. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. You know, that windsock is really inconsistent with what I got from ADAS. And since I have custom weather, then ADAS shouldn't change. Um, but they gave me runway 30. Camel River traffic, Pilatus 633 Papa Whiskey, holding ready to depart, runway 30, depart to the south, Camel River. See anything coming? I tell you, Simmon really teaches you how important it is to look out for traffic, especially at untowered airports, and not rely solely on calls, because there have been quite a few times that I'd failed to tune my radio properly and were making calls that no other pilots would have heard. Okay, landing on, lights are on, altitude reporting, and we're off. And with flaps in, we want to climb out at about 60, actually at about 69. Of course, all that's kind of, well, for taking off, I don't think it is weight dependent. Flaps up, speed up to 74. All right, let's make a turn. And oh man, my bad. I thought that airport was to the south. Looks like it's to the north. 2500 is what we're going to use for this flight. Why did I think it was to the south? Sky back there. There was some reason. Guess I looked up something. Oh well. Now I was talking, excuse me, I was talking about flying cars and how it's unlikely that anybody but the public might be able to fly them. But then again, when I think about some of the technology that's going into the aircraft, uh, then it may become possible. If you think about it, it looks like I am going back towards. Where the heck am I going here? Look at this thing. Yeah, think I should be going to the south. I don't think apparently I didn't put that flight plan in there. CQ. I thought when I did nearest airport, I clicked on it and added it, but apparently I didn't. Back nearest airport. See YQQ. And it is to the south. That makes me feel a little better. It's more to the northeast than south, though. Still. It's in the northeast quadrant. I can get this guy trimmed out. Want to become famous. That's a spammer, I guess. All right, instrument check. Okay, my torque is a little high, so let's pull it back a little bit. Prop should be around 19. So this is only about 20 miles, and so it should take me another another few minutes to get here. So, okay, but so I need some help from maybe somebody can tell me what I'm doing here. So I've got this weather overlay on, and I want to turn it off. Um, I think all this green and stuff is weather, and I'm not sure on this iPad how to turn it off because it has no opacity whatsoever. So I can't see through it. And I'm hoping that one of you guys know. Let's see, radar come. So it's radar, and I guess I want to turn all the radar off, but it doesn't look like I can. No worries. No worries. All right, so we'll just get rid of it for the time being. No, I remember turning it on because for the longest I didn't have any weather overlay at all. Watch my altitude. I done lost 1,000 feet without knowing it. Situation awareness. Pilot distractions. Yeah, there should be an opacity setting somewhere. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Or a way to just turn it off because if I'm flying and the whole area is covered, then I wouldn't be able to see an airport or anything. That's a good idea. Map. Let's see. With that, I imagine that would be in settings. Get this guy trimmed out again. So I asked the developer of this aircraft, hey, where's the trim wheel? I can't find the trim wheel. And I was informed that the Porter actually only has an electronic trim, doesn't have a trim wheel. Highlight the blue to turn it off. Okay, so let's try that. Highlight the blue. Ah, duh. Thank you. You guys are so smart. They say that two heads are better than one. And lucky for me, I got several heads here. Teamwork makes the dream work. So that's my lesson for today. Knowing how to manage the weather overlays on the ForeFlight app. You know, to be honest with you, ever since I've gotten the G750, I rarely even bother to track a flight with ForeFlight. I feel like for the most part, the 750 does just about everything the ForeFlight does. Maybe not the callouts. Yep, those guys are really helpful. All right, I think I see my airport there. Let's see how far are we from it. 6.2 miles. And if I'd been smart, I'd make sure that I had the ADAS dialed in for it already.
Colox information Sierra. 1600 Zulu weather.
Should be runway
Wind light and variable. Visibility more than 10.
close to 30.
Sky clear. Temperature 4. Dew point -30. Altimeter 2994. Arriving runway 36.
36.
Departing runway 36.
That's right, because they don't.
Advise on initial contact you have Sierra.
I can get rid of that crosswind component.
Comox information Sierra. 16.
With the seat, remember it's jacked. Cancel. That's right, I was doing direct. See why? Okay. I don't know how to get the waypoint information since it ain't there. So I realize I am not doing proper airport entries. And I realize that I'm not flying the airplane either. Okay. Where'd it go? Comax tower. And got it this time. Comax tower. Porter 633 Papa Whiskey is 3 miles to the north, inbound for four stop. Clear to land, runway 36. 3 Papa Whiskey. All right, so I got landing clearance. And fly downwind here. All right. Glance, gas, and this time I guess I'll turn it on. The pump, lights, mixture, and prop. Don't have to worry about undercarriage. I think this is 3.6 here. No. Where the hell is 3.6? Okay, yeah, I'm on my downwind. The Flip H Go Flight Plan Go app. Big fan, free, cool. Is that an iPad app? All right. Flaps. little bit fast for flap range, but this is funny because I apparently turned way off course and didn't realize. Oh, there it is. I was about to miss my base turn because when I turned base, I couldn't find the runway. And I'm not stable, so this would be a good opportunity to go around. But I'm gonna put it in anyway. I'm a little bit hot and high. Oh man, I didn't lock my tail wheels. That's a little better, considering that I neglected to lock my tail wheels. This is the Porter um, Pago. I hope I'm not butchering that. But yeah, this is the Pilatus Porter. It's a tail dragger. It's a backcountry aircraft because it has an amazing stove kit on it. This guy can be fully loaded to the max and take off on 1,000-foot runway or 600-foot empty. Yep, PC-6. It's by Pilatus. Okay, let's clean up here. Okay, strobes off, landing lights off, flaps up, and condition level to low idle. All right. So I am flying, just making some hops from airport to airport up in the Canadian South. I think I'm in British Columbia. Um, and I'm gonna find one more airport to hop to, and that would do it. Okay, so let's turn that on. I don't know why I pulled up Sky Vector because I haven't a clue where I'm at in Sky Vector. Let's see if we matched it up a little bit. Uh, let's see, Dogfish Bay, Cook Inlet. And I'm actually not too far from Vancouver. But I don't want to spend a bunch of time looking at Sky Vector trying to get sorted out. So because of that, I am going to try to figure out the next airport. It is fun in, on that using the iPad. Okay, so what is Cat 4? Um, Quadcom Beach, and yeah, so I can go to Quadcom Beach and hang out with the girls who are less than half my age. Be the dirty old man. Okay, so let's see if that's in my database here. See YQQ. Deals. All right. Okay, so that's east, southeast. And since Tower told me to stay with them, then I'm not going to change to ground to make this call. Hopefully they will. That's one thing about Sim, you can make up stuff. um, Comac, Comax, Comax Tower, Pilatus 633. Tico, what's my dog's just misbehaving. Let me get rid of this map. My bad. Comax traffic, Pilatus 633 Papa Whiskey is ready to taxi for a east departure. Taxi to runway 36. And looking for a taxiway. There it goes. Okay. And the lights can go on because they are my taxi. Dev, I'm not gonna get the 3.6 here. Okay, so this apron behind me goes there. I just wasn't sure if I had the back taxi or what. Try not to ride those brakes. Okay. Figure out how to get there. Of course, with the Porter here, even with a full load, I would be able to do a intersection takeoff almost at the very end of it. Let's see, this doesn't feel right. Just doesn't feel right. And I guess that is right. Just didn't feel right. Okay. Because I can't see where it's joining, I guess I could look at my GTN and get an idea of how the runways are laid out. The taxiways, that is. Now this just don't feel like it's taking me to 3.6, but I guess it is. Just didn't feel like it. I coulda, don't want to prop strike. Let's see, I coulda did this and taken a look at the runways and the taxiways. Well, the taxiways are not modeled. Okay, but we're here. All right. Comex Tower, Pilatus 633, Papa Whiskey, holding at runway 36, ready to depart. Clear for takeoff, runway 36, 633, Papa Whiskey. All right. I didn't see anything landing. 5,000 foot runway. Altitude reporting. Lights are on. Strobe lights come on. Flap set to take off. This time we will lock that tail wheel. Having that lock really helps me on landing if it doesn't help me a lot on takeoff. And we're up just that quick. Six, 700 feet and we're up. as Cedric said, she wants to fly. Now, the POH says that I should be at about 68, 69 on takeoff. I held the nose down to get some speed, which would not be something that you want to do flying over water. If I don't watch that torque, I am gonna blow that shaft clean through the engine. Okay, so we're gonna level out this time. We'll do 3,000, I think. I think Canada use pretty much the same rules as the U.S. for the most part, but I'm not, don't quote me on that. Okay, so we're at cruise. Feather back a little bit. And looks like we got a ship out on the horizon. So I guess we'll fly directly over it just for the fun of it. If I was a bold pilot, I would buzz it. But I'm an old pilot. Well, I'm old. There are no old bold pilots. And I'm sure you guys screaming at me, raise your flaps, raise your flaps. It is so unnerving, or I guess unnerving is not the right word, but it is so hard for me to get used to being straight and level, but with a nose down attitude. As I'm flying here, I feel as if I'm descending because my nose feels like it's pointed so far down. The air is smooth, so we can fly in the yellow arc. And this lake is got all kinds of Easter eggs in it. What is that sailboat? So our airport ought to be on the other side of this island, and distance is 21 nautical miles. Indicated is 132, 35, and airspeed is 129. So I must have some must have a headwind. But I am low also. The lower you are, the more closer you fly to ground speed for the most part. Okay, so this will be my final destination. I'm gonna get to this beach and hang out in Canada in November without a coat. I should look back there. Maybe I did bring a coat. Nope, don't see one. If it ain't stowed somewhere, then I am gonna have to buy one. It's one thing about flight simming. Never too old to use your imagination. Even for fogies like me who don't have much of an imagination. All right, so my altitude is slipping up on me. So I should be able to get the airport in sight and at any minute now. Let's see if we can get it in sight. Maybe need to not quite yet. But it's gonna be hard. I can't expect anybody to see in front of them 15 nautical miles at such a low altitude. She have on an X-Plane shirt? How about that? I need to get me an X-Plane shirt. So I'm still gaining altitude even though I trim it down. So get, let's start our descent. And let's get some information. Careful, we don't want to dive bomb in there. .190 feet, so 1200 is going to be our pattern altitude. Got runway 11 and 29. The prevailing winds have will be favoring the 29. So that's what I am going to plan to land on. And if we can, we'll try and take Delta. Otherwise, we have to take Charlie. So to do a proper entry, I want to come in mid fly over the field, and then join my downwind, or do a teardrop downwind. But I am going to fly straight in. So I am coming from the north. So I'm going to jump over the land here and line up, and rather than do a proper entry. So even though I'm not entering the pattern correctly, it's not because I don't know how. I'm just too lazy to enter it correctly. Okay. So my distance from the airport is 6 nautical miles. And what is it? I forget the name of the Qualcomm. Qualcomm traffic, Pilatus 633 Papa Whiskey is 6 miles to the north inbound, full stop. Qualcomm. When I can finally do a discovery flight, whoever's flying is going to hate me. I don't know. They may love you, because if you want to do a teardrop entry, that would tell them, hey, this guy has a real interest in learning to fly, not just taking a discovery flight for the heck of it. And I took some, let me get the airport in sight. I took some flying lessons way back in, shoot, I think it was 2008. And I had about 12, actually about 14 hours. Still got my log book. I need to fly the airplane so I don't fly into the ground here. Looking for this airport. Just use my GPS. country, so it should be over here. Um, so I had about 14 hours, and I kind of had the feeling that maybe one or two more flights later, they would let me solo because I was basically landing the aircraft on my own, and it was one of the I was doing it on a pay as you go basis. Let's see, what is that down there blinking? I think that's my airport there. I believe so. So 1200 is my pattern. Get in this arc so I can drop some flaps. Flaps in are in. Landing lights come on. Boost. Fuel boost goes on. And I'm coming in on the right base rather than a straight in, but anyway, yeah, I felt like I was about to solo, and it was one of those things where I got busy and rather than going to take a lesson, it was like, well, I'm gonna skip this week because I don't have time, and I'll take a lesson next week. Had the money, um, and I just kept putting it off and never did resume my lessons just by putting it off. Okay, I need to slow down to about 68, 69. Got there. And I feel like I'm a little high. So I'm gonna drop this other notch of flaps and power back a little bit. I got my tail wheel locked this time, so maybe I won't loop, even though I'm a little hot. Okay. Well, I didn't loop. I think my passengers may walk away. Of course, they may have suffered some concussions. And hey, what can I say? I didn't loop. Prop strike, but I didn't loop, so it's not all that bad. Okay, guys, could have been better. In fact, let's take a look at that. I might be able to learn what I did wrong. So wrong. Well, I know what I did wrong. I didn't do the go around because I knew I was high, and I knew I was hot. I actually put the aircraft down, and I think maybe in my post-mortem thinking I probably didn't raise my nose for fear of ground looping. So that's my story. I know a lot of you guys probably are flying Microsoft Flight Sim. I bought it on day one, and I think it may take me, excuse me, it may take me a year before I'm happy flying it. Um, I just refuse to be an alpha an alpha tester with a product that should be closer to being finished. But that's just me. All right, see how high I am? Now, historically, what happens when I try to pull that, uh, when I try to pull that stick back, then I become airborne again. The taxiways at K at Kilo Alpha Golf Charlie are Musfors. Yep, that's that's exactly right. It's in this case it wasn't a taxiway. It's the runway that so you guys can't see all those dips and potholes that caused me to get that prop strike. Anyway, I I will be seeing you guys on your I will be seeing you guys on your own respective channels. Um, Pigo 27, if you have a channel, I would certainly look forward and seeing with you, etc., etc. And I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I am gonna call it a night. Maybe even watch some of you guys fly. All right, so I do like to raid other channels. I know it's only not a whole lot of us, but people tend to. Yeah, I'm glad you caught me too. Um, let's see. I think I remember doing. Nope, that didn't work. Um, let's see. Actually, I've forgotten how to do a raid. Um, is it a command that I can type into this message box? It's been, I think, July since I've streamed, so I've forgotten everything I ever learned. Um, but it seemed like I recall there being a anyway. Uh, yeah, I've forgotten how to do a raid slash raid. No, okay. And now I need a channel. And let's see whose channel can we raid. Let me open Twitch up. You guys are really patient. I appreciate it. Okay, Slant Alpha. He's um
This
he's
is for everyone
one of
who
the
tasted
guys I
cheddar
follow.
chalupa and thought, wow, this is so good. I sure hope Taco Bell never takes it away. Because why would they do that? It's got cheddar toasted right on the shelf, for goodness sake. They wouldn't do me like that. But listen, I'm sure if for some reason it did leave the menu, they would definitely bring it back.
Slant Alpha.
For a limited time. Wait, what? The cheddar toasted shell you love is back with Taco Bell's $5
And
toasted cheddar chalupa box.
Adventures. That's not bringing up anything. Let's see. You guys are really patient because you're watching the sausage get made. Um, slash read channel management. Okay. Thanks. If I could,
roads
I
appear
was
unsafe,
absent the day they taught us how to spell slint.
which I don't know my way around here anyway, so it's not
Alpha.
going to matter that much.
Guess I have to type the whole thing out.
All right. I think it's time we can pop
That
the
did
one
not
thing we
work.
can do is we can put the plane into
Uh,
ops tanks.
so
How
let
badly
me
unbalanced are we? We weren't running on the
let me
Ramda.
copy
Here,
it.
let's see. Come on, I'm not trying to zoom. I'm trying to. Uh-oh. So that's a glitch with the
Copy
needle animation. But let's just go ahead and
slash
switch into the ops
read.
tanks. So that was a problem I identified with the plane. The right main animates lower than it should when it starts getting low. So it's not really as low as what it says.
Read now. Okay.
But I'm waiting for the updated version of this plane to come out that fixes that. And it's been quite a few weeks since they've posted an update. Although he said that fix would be among those.
I think it happened. Thanks, guys.
We got the virtual GA rating us with rating party. Thank you so much for that, virtual GA, and welcome to the stream yourself. Can't recall if I'd seen you here before or not, but welcome or welcome back, whichever applies, and thank you for bringing some friends to us. We're flying the Douglas DC-3. We had intended to head from Bristol to London City Airport in London and then down to Alderney. I don't think we're going to make Alderney tonight because we had some technical issues. But we're right now getting ready to fly over Stonehenge, if we can spot it from the air. Hopefully we can. We are the Borg. Melvin has cracked the space-time continuum. He is here and also in the raid. Melvin is everywhere. Titanium Druid is as well. Thank you, guys. If you had a say in that raid, then I certainly appreciate your assistance. But the idea right now, for those of you just joining our heroes, we're tracking a radio inbound to the Southampton VOR. When we are 23 miles out, we're going to be right over this spot here, and right over this spot here is Stonehenge. We are hoping with our Ortho 4XP scenery here at X-Plane 11, we're hoping that we will see it. But I don't know. I don't know how visible it will be. So we'll take a look. We'll take a look. From there, from Stonehenge, our next stop thereafter is what the UK residents would know as Highclere Castle, and what everyone else, and probably some folks in the UK as well, what everyone else would know as Downton Abbey. Oh, Virtual GA said that I've provided some technical help a few times. Oh, good. Well, I appreciate that. I apologize for not remembering your Twitch handle, but glad to have you back here. One thing I can say is that Stonehenge is going to be, what is this, about 5 miles, if that, north and west of this Boscombe Down military field. So if we start to see that airport, we'll know that Stonehenge is going to be on the near side of it for us. So again, 23 miles out. So we're actually about 4 miles away from it right now. Can we see it up ahead? Little parking area there. Looks like it could be a monument of some sort. Might be it. I don't really know. Does look kind of like a bunch of stones in a circle there. Or maybe over here. Yeah, don't really know. Okay, there's that airport we were talking about. So that might have been it, indeed. We did see a little parking area and some stones in a circle, so I'm going to guess that that was what we're looking at, guys. We're going to go ahead and pop this into heading mode. We've got a target heading of 0 set. We're really going to be turning to about a 050. So get that dialed in. So I presume that what we saw back there was indeed Stonehenge. Having never been there, I don't know what it's like, but we did see a little parking area and a little circular arrangement of stones. What looked like could have been a circular arrangement of stones. So there you go. Highclere Castle will be more recognizable? I don't know. The next step was going to be inbound on this, what do we say, 052 down here, and we're a little bit to the left of that. So track that over to the right. We're also dialed in that one here. And that bottom will sound that 1435 and 052 is what we want to have dialed. There's 50, 51, 52, so yeah, we do need to correct a little bit more to the right. And on this one, we're tracking from, let's see, what did I plot out here? 29 miles into 11 miles. So when we get 232 at 11, then we'll make a right and we'll go to where it's 210 at 11. So we're basically, because I don't have a GPS in this plane, we can only track directly toward or away from the VOR. So we're tracking directly toward the VOR here, but then once we get to this point where we're 11